This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Manitobans say there needs to be funding available to help those who are experiencing hearing loss at any age. One group is petitioning the province to expand a new grant program, which currently only helps people over 65. CBC's Brittany Greenslade explains.
They are tiny tools that have a big impact on those who need them. But for many, like Gladys Nielsen, hearing aids are hard to afford.
It's very expensive. When I was getting hearing aids, I was getting loans to pay for them, and I think people still are. And that to me is not right, that you have to borrow money to hear.
For Tammy Perry, that wasn't an option. So between kids and bills, Perry opted to only outfit one ear and do the best she could.
Financially, it just wasn't affordable. So I took the less than, I settled for less. I didn't even purchase the hearing aid that I actually needed.
At nearly $7,000 a pair, many who suffer hearing loss say the cost of hearing aids is prohibitive and they need to be replaced every 5 to 7 years. But for many, they are essential for their daily lives. Now they're asking the province to step up.
It can be simple as going through the drive-through or, having coffee with a friend, hearing the bank teller, hearing the doctor. So it is essential. It's an essential need that we're hoping that Manitoba Health can help bring some coverage.
The province offers some support for those over the age of 65. But in Manitoba, there's no coverage for people between the ages of 19 and 64.
If you're in that middle group, you've got a house, you've got a mortgage, you've got kids, you are probably helping your parents. And again, it is a huge financial strain and it's an ongoing cost.
In Quebec, the government fully covers one hearing aid and often the second if it provides essential improvements to your studies or work, regardless of age. Ontario covers up to $500 per ear. And Saskatchewan only provides coverage to people enrolled in certain income support programs. The Canadian Hard of Hearing Association wants them deemed a medical necessity.
And our point of view is if I broke my arm, I would get it fixed. I have a broken ear. I would like the same sort of help.
With help from the Liberals, this group is petitioning the Manitoba government for change. Brittany Greenslade, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The RCMP is asking everyone in the Paw, Flin Flon and surrounding communities to stay vigilant and report anything suspicious as they search for an escaped inmate. RCMP officers spent much of the last 24 hours searching for these two inmates who escaped from the Paw Correctional Centre before 7 last night. A third man also escaped but was found roughly an hour later. The Mounties say they took 19-year-old Xander Tardoff. He is the other person on your screen. I apologize. Without incident, back into custody. This man, 21-year-old Kelly Castell, is still on the loose tonight. They recommend people keep their doors and windows locked. The National Aboriginal Hockey Championships are happening in Winnipeg this week. Players under 18 here are vying for first place. And as the CBC's Alana Cole shows us, the Coaching Association of Canada is also hoping it's an opportunity to talk about the importance of mental health in sport.
A shot toward gold. 15 teams from across Canada are here for the National Aboriginal Hockey Championship. Off the ice, there's another goal too.
Hi there! We're the Coaching Association of Canada and
The Coaching Association of Canada is here to talk about its free mental health and sport resource hub. Eating disorders, anxiety, supporting players after concussion are just some of the topics. Sarah Min says the hub helps coaches get comfortable talking about their own mental health and have conversations with players too.
Everyone goes through a different journey and has a different experience, and I think a lot of times it's difficult to know how to navigate conversations and manage conflicts with athletes and just anyone who's in the sport. So we just believe that by empowering coaches and giving them the tools that maybe they'll feel a little bit more educated and empowered to have those conversations.
Timothy Bear is in Winnipeg to watch his niece. He's coached hockey and has 4 kids who play, including twin daughters on a Division I NCAA team in Rochester, New York. He says education around mental health is huge.
It's a big part of hockey now, right? Because it's not just on the ice, it's off the ice too. You want these kids to be good citizens, good hockey players, have a good life after the game, right? So, like I said, mental health has grown a lot, and the awareness is, especially, what we're representing here, right?
Aboriginal Sports Circle owns the tournament and is one of the sponsors. They've partnered with the Coaches Association on this.
It's used as a hub and a resource for people within the community that play multiple roles, and especially with coaches in Indigenous communities and on reserve. They're not just coaches, right? They're teachers, they're counselors, they're sometimes bus drivers and chaperones to our athletes. So I think having more tools in their kit is always a better thing for them.
The association says they'll keep popping up at other sporting events in the coming months. As for this tournament, the gold medal games are on Saturday. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A Manitoba physician is not holding back in his criticism of the PC government. Dr. Dan Roberts says the province has engineered a profound dysfunction into the healthcare system, and he's blaming the bureaucracy. The CBC's Ian Fraze joins us now live from our newsroom to explain. Ian, what did Dr. Dan Roberts say in his column today in the Free Press?
Yeah, the interim head of neurology at HSC says he's not sure who's in charge. He says the bureaucracy in Winnipeg is split up into too many silos. There's the government's health department, there's Shelled Health, there's the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority, and there's the surgery task force. Roberts says more than 9 months ago he put together a proposal to get the resources to support a new specialist. And Roberts says he's still waiting while that specialist is frustrated and thinking about going elsewhere. NDP leader Wab Kinew isn't impressed.
We should understand that when a PC government, like the one we have here in Manitoba, ignores frontline experts, it's not just disregarding advice, it's actually harming the front lines. People get frustrated, people potentially even decide to walk.
I certainly don't agree that the physician in question's proposal has been stuck. There is a process. That process is being followed. It is under review and a decision is forthcoming.
Gordon says one of her government's priorities is to find ways to streamline these processes for proposals.
Now, we heard from the NDP yesterday that it says it will not make major changes to the education property tax rebate program if it is elected. But the party says it will stop out-of-province billionaires from getting checks from the province. What's the government saying in response to that?
Well, the Tories are accusing the NDP that they're going to ruin the economy. The NDP again targeted Superstore, which got around $300,000 in rebates when you can count all of their locations. Premier Heather Stefanson accused the NDP of putting jobs at risk.
The company that the leader of the opposition is referring to employs more than 3,000 Manitobans, Madam Speaker. And he's talking about putting them out of business in this province, Madam Speaker.
Shame.
We are all about economic development opportunities for Manitoba companies, and we will continue to support those companies.
I invite the Premier to continue running on her What About the Billionaires platform. On this side of the House, we say that billionaires should pay their fair share. There is no risk that this company goes out of business.
Kinew says that rebate money going to out-of-province, to wealthy individuals out of province should go to the public school system. Janet.
Thanks so much, Ian. That's the CBC's Ian Fraze reporting live from our newsroom tonight. 2 Saskatchewan First Nations women have won the world's top journalism award for audio. Connie Walker and her team won a Pulitzer Prize for Best Audio Journalism. You'll know Connie's name. She used to work here at CBC. She produced a podcast about her father's experience at a residential school in Duck Lake. The podcast was called Stolen: Surviving St. Michael's. Walker calls this an incredible honor and says it will help more people understand the realities of Canada's residential school system.
It's an incredible honor in journalism, but also I think what it says about the story that our team told about my dad and my family but also about all of the survivors.
Connie Walker is from the Okanese First Nation in Saskatchewan. Her team included former Saskatoon Star Phoenix reporter Betty Ann Adam from Fond du Lac. Other outlets receiving Pulitzers include the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and Associated Press. Great news. Not a nicer person could have won that award. Connie's great.
Yeah.
Our weather is great, too, if what you're looking for is sunshine and warmth.
Yeah, you know, we were bouncing around between 19 and 20 today, so my forecast high 20. We did get there, and we're kind of hovering around 19 the last couple of hours. Here's a look at the rest of the current conditions, and we'll get into your forecast, including radar and the lightning tracker, Janet. We've got that all geared up. Gave it an oil change. Bit of a tune-up for the summer, that sort of thing. It's all ready to go, but I am seeing some lightning, and I'll show you that in just a second. 19 right now, dew point at 8. Remember, dew point is a really good measure of moisture. When we get dew point temperatures up around 16 to 18, 20, it's starting to feel really, really humid. So it felt a little humid this morning, but south winds at 19, a pretty nice afternoon. When it was cloudy, temperatures dropped just below 19, and then the sun came out, and we went just back up toward 20 degrees. Now you can see we are seeing the little hit and miss showers I was talking about yesterday. That 30% chance of an afternoon shower on radar right now. Some of this just around Brandon, some of this just southwest of the city in the Morden, Winkler area. And you can see these showers are isolated, but if you get underneath one of them, it's a pretty good downpour. And right around Winkler in the last couple of hours, we've even seen a little bit of lightning going through on that one. So folks in Winkler, down toward Walhalla, Minnesota, Walhalla, North Dakota, pardon me, probably hearing a little bit of thunder. And if we look back to the west, we can see some of these showers right around Manitou as well. These won't live long. They will dissipate through the evening hours. And then on into Wednesday, we see a little bit of action up through the Interlake. On into the afternoon, generally sunny here in the southeastern Red River Valley, but this chance of showers includes a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon, only about 30%. Then as we get into the evening, right over the Red River Valley at about 9 in the evening, we've got a sort of an enhanced chance of a shower Wednesday evening. Temperatures at that time will still be in the 20s. And then on into Thursday, there's a little bit more cloud around. I'm calling it a sun-cloud mix. But if we widen the view here, we see a more organized system as we get into Friday. I think just cloudy for us on Friday. There's high pressure setting up to the north that wants to keep that weather to the south of us on Friday night and Saturday. So 9 degrees tonight, partly cloudy. And as we get into tomorrow, we're mild at 13 in the morning, 23 in the afternoon. You look around the rest of the province, and we have that chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Warmer in the west, 16 again tomorrow in Churchill, about 20 in Thompson. We're low to mid-20s here. The higher chance of a shower or storm in the south is in the west in the afternoon, and then on into the evening hours here in the Red River Valley. Otherwise, it's a sun-cloud mix and mid-20s, and the same sun-cloud mix and a little bit cooler in northwestern Ontario. Watching conditions to the west of us, the fire danger rating today with all of the out-of-control fires indicated on the map. If we fast forward this rating to Monday, you can see this red area will be enhanced in size, and that's where fire danger is extreme. So with dry, windy weather on the way, conditions are going to worsen in the next couple of days, and so will the wildfire smoke plume as we move through Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday night, and then on into Thursday. This will start to slump into Manitoba. Question is, will we smell it or will it stay aloft? And there's much more on this wildfire situation. Janet, coming up in just a little while.
Thank you, John. On the wildfires that are burning out Alberta right now, nearly 30,000 people remain out of their homes. Stay with us. You're watching CBC Winnipeg News. Nearly 30,000 people remain out of their homes in Alberta tonight as wildfires rip through parts of the province.
We've already had 390,000 hectares burned, so it's already 10 times the typical fire year, and we're really just getting started.
The aerial video shows the expanse of the Fox Creek area wildfire. That's about 250 kilometers northwest of Edmonton. There are about 90 active fires in the province right now, close to 30 burning out of control. Crews from here in Manitoba, from Ontario and Quebec are all helping out. The Premier announced a one-time emergency financial payment plan for those displaced by wildfires. In some places, people are being allowed to return to their communities. In Parkland County, west of Edmonton, a mandatory evacuation has been lifted after fire swept through the area over the weekend. A jury in New York has awarded $5 million in civil damages to a woman who says she was raped and defamed by former U.S. President Donald Trump. It took the 9 jurors less than 3 hours to decide Trump did not rape this popular magazine columnist, E. Jean Carroll, but they unanimously agreed he did assault her and he did defame her. Carroll accused Trump of raping her in a dressing room at an upscale department store in Manhattan in the 1990s. She also says the former president defamed her by calling her a liar after she leveled the accusation. Trump is calling the verdict a disgrace. He did not appear at the trial, did not testify. His lawyers say they will appeal. Beijing has wasted no time in responding to Canada's expulsion of a Chinese diplomat. Today, a Canadian diplomat in Shanghai was told to go home. Rafi Boudjikanian reports.
Beijing said its retaliation for showing Chinese diplomat Zhao Wei the door would be swift, and it was not kidding. We are asking a Canadian diplomat in Shanghai, Jennifer Lynn Lalonde, to leave, he said. This is China's move to safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. Ottawa, defiant.
We will not be intimidated, and we will continue to do everything necessary to keep our Canadians, keep Canadians protected from foreign interference.
The diplomatic tit-for-tat comes a week after the Globe and Mail reported that a 2021 CSIS report showed Beijing sought information about a member of parliament who had family living in China. Citing an unnamed security source, the Globe identified that MP as conservative Michael Chong. The person looking for intel is Chinese diplomat Zhao Wei. Chong was sanctioned by China in 2021 after he sponsored a motion declaring China's treatment of its Uyghur population a genocide.
If we expel one of their people, they will expel someone comparable in China. You know, nothing unexpected or unusual about that.
But this China observer says Beijing could make further moves.
I think what we have to look at is if China will go beyond that and engage in some kind of spurious trade sanctions, violation of trade contracts to try and punish Canada, or indeed if we see any action taken against Canadian citizens in China.
Well, today MPs also heard from Chinese Canadian dissidents, reminding Beijing's arm reaches across the ocean too.
The diaspora is actually encouraged to survey on each other and report on each other. There is guilt by association to begin with, so if you're associated with someone who has been seen as a troublemaker, you're less likely to get a job promotion. You're likely to be denied services.
These kinds of allegations once again have the opposition parties asking for a foreign agent registry and a public inquiry into foreign interference. The government says it's moving ahead with a registry, but on the inquiry, it says the ball's still in the court of the special rapporteur, who's supposed to make a call in the next couple of weeks. Rafi Boudjikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
The deadline to bid on getting ownership of the Ottawa Senators is coming up, and it seems a bunch of celebrities are interested. CBC's Natalia Goodwin explains.
The Ottawa Senators went out for sale last year after former owner Eugene Melnyk passed away, leaving the city wondering who would want to buy this franchise. I mean, let's be honest, the team hasn't been that great lately. They haven't made the playoffs since 2017, but it turns out a lot of people are interested, including a few big names from Hollywood. First up, a man who calls Ottawa one of his homes, Canadian actor Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I need a partner with, really deep pockets.
Now, he's visited the city a few times since putting his name on one of the bids, sending Ottawa into a frenzy. And he's no stranger to owning a team. He already owns a football team in Wales. And then last week, an unlikely candidate for some, Snoop Dogg, announced his interest in the team. But actually, Snoop has been a fan of the game for years.
And I've been, down with the NHL for a long time, going to games, announcing games, being a part of the society.
And now the rumor mill has started again. And apparently another Canadian celebrity may have been blinded by the arena lights. That's right, The Weeknd may be signing on to another bid. And all of this has left fans wondering what's going to happen next.
It's kind of interesting that entertainers want to get involved.
That probably means that it's going to bring even more activity to the city.
The Sens didn't make the playoffs, unfortunately, so maybe some extra support, they could make it next year.
Now, as a city, Ottawa isn't known for being a hotspot for celebrity sightings, but all this publicity can't be a bad thing, right?
This isn't just about the hockey team, but it's about the city of Ottawa. It's about investing in our community, potentially building a new arena, a development that would go around the arena. So there's so much opportunity and potential here, and I think that's what these individuals recognize.
But still the question remains, why would these celebs want to buy this team?
They're not actually interested in the Ottawa Senators. They're interested in owning a professional sports franchise.
The NHL says all of this publicity is a good thing for the team, and the buzz around who might buy the Sens isn't over yet. Any bidders, and maybe potentially any other celebrities, have until May 15th to get their bids in.
You heard her. Get your bids in. That was CBC's Natalia Goodwin in Ottawa. Meteorologist John Sauder returns with your 7-day forecast in just a moment, and then we'll bring you your daily lift. Stay with us.
So the normal high for this time of year is 18. So today was a relatively mild day. We get even warmer next few days. Could see an evening shower tomorrow, then cloudy conditions on Friday and Saturday. Cooler again on the weekend, but look at Mother's Day, sunny and 25 degrees just for Mom. And this new world record in India really takes the cake.
Here's your daily lift. A cake artist has created this, the largest cake in the world, featuring an Indian palace. Isn't it gorgeous? It weighs a whopping 200 kilograms. It's more than 3 meters high, roughly 10 feet. Wow. The artist says she was inspired by India's majestic architecture and wanted to pay tribute to the various palaces across her country.
That's a lot of icing.
It would be a lot of icing. Holy moly.
I'm wondering if I can just get a corner piece.
Without it all falling down? I'm just not sure. The cake is entirely edible, John.
Really?
And get this, it's even vegan.
Really?
Really. So no milk, no eggs. There you go.
It'd be a good Mother's Day cake.
It would be fine, yes, absolutely fine for many mothers.
Yes.
Many, many mothers could enjoy that.
Canes and Devils coming up right now on CBC, game number 4.
Enjoy the game.